Hey everybody, it's Casey here at Sea Run Flying Tackle. Today I'm going to show you how to tie a variation of the Glimmer shrimp. So the Glimmer shrimp, it's a pattern that was invented in Denmark. Not its actual name, the Danish name for this fly, there's no way in a million years I'd ever be able to pronounce right. And I feel terrible for the inventor of the fly as well too, because same thing, there is no way I'll ever be able to pronounce his name. But this is, a variation of the original pattern. A little bit of a two-tone variation that I like to tie for pink salmon, which is coming up in the next few weeks here. We'll start seeing some come in. Awesome pattern to fish off the beaches. You can adapt it for the rivers as well too, but something I think you'll like in your box. So if you want to give this one a try, hang out and I'll show you how to get it done. Alright, so to tie the Glimmer shrimp, first thing I'm going to do is take an Ahrex NS122 light stinger hook. In this instance I'm going to use a size 6. I like to use a size 6, particularly at a spot like Furry Creek. Just water clarity isn't unbelievable there. It's got a little bit of silt, influence from the Squamish River coming in into Howe Sound there. So a little bit sort of more colored, sort of silty water there, so a bigger pattern definitely stands out better in that water. I'll tie this in smaller variations for spots, say like Ambleside or something like that, where the water's clear. So hook fixed into the vise, and then I'm going to add some .010 lead wire. Just you'll see later on, this is it's got a bit of a dense body, this fly, so this just helps sink it a little bit. About 20 wraps. I mean, you could go a little bit thicker wire lead wire if you like, but I don't want to have a ton of bulk because I'm going to be adding a whole whack of stuff into the tail of this fly. This is kind of the complex part, is the tail, and then really gets simple as we get into the body here. So from here, I'm going to take some UTC Ultra Thread, 70 denier fluorescent pink, fasten that onto the hook, and then we're just going to wrap over the lead to secure everything into place. And we'll trim that tag end off. Alright, so for the tail on this fly, first thing I'm going to tie in is going to be some OfishL Arctic Foxtail in orange. I'm going to make this a two-tone pattern. I really like a pink and orange combination for pink salmon. You can go straight pink if you like, variations of pink. Orange too, just on its own works well, but this is a personal favorite of mine. So I've got a clump here. It's going to be a fairly short tail. And we'll trim those butts off there. And a couple extra wraps just to secure everything into place. From there, I'm going to add a little bit of Krystal Flash in pearl. I've just got 2 strands there, and we'll double it up to make 4. Right along the top, we'll trim those off. Try and trim them without cutting any of the guard hairs on that fox. Next step is I'm going to tie in a piece of Nature Spirit Fish Hunter Schlappen in fluorescent fire orange. And this guy I'm just going to tie in closer to the tip because I don't want incredibly long fibers like you'd get down at the base of the feather. And I'm just going to pull those fibers back as I wrap them. 2 wraps is going to be plenty. Try and fish out the stem with the point of the scissors. Trim the stem, and it'll pull all that excess free. Give those a little pinch so that they all sit back real nice. From here, I'm going to take material called Easy Shrimp Eyes. These ones happen to be transparent red. I just think they look cool. They make the fly kind of look evil. Black is another good color for this as well. And they come already fixed on this little plastic tab, so it makes it very, very easy to tie them in, keep them even. On a bigger hook, you can definitely leave all that plastic. It's not the end of the world. On this one, it's a little bit small, so I'm just going to trim it a little bit. That way I don't have too much crowding at the eye of the hook at the end of my fly here. Got those fixed in place. One last step at the tail of the fly. I'm going to take some Wapsi barred rubber legs, Sili legs in pink, fluorescent pink. And I'm just going to tie a single piece in, doubled. And that's going to look like antenna. And I'll trim those to be longer than everything else that I've tied in. Now, that's the tough part of the fly. Now we're getting to the easy part. For the main body on this, the Alchemist tying range, 15mm UV Blob Fritz in intense pink. And I'm just going to strip a little bit of that away to expose the woven core. That just gives us an easy tie-off, or tie-in point, sorry. Throw a few wraps down to secure it, bring my thread forward to the eye. And the same thing as I did with the hackle, I'm just going to pull the fibers back, and I'm just going to palmer this forward, covering the shank of the hook. It's going to be enough there. Pull that all back and then secure it in place with my tying thread. Trying to keep that eye clear as best as I can. Trim that core flush. And then just tie in a thread head. Quick whip finish to finish the fly. I like to do a second one just for good luck. And then we're going to give this fly a bit of a haircut. So right now, very dense looking body, no real shape to it. I'm going to take my scissors and at an angle, I'm going to work this body down to give it a taper so it's narrowest towards the eye of the fly and a little bit fatter towards the back, kind of like on the body of a shrimp. Don't wear fleece pants when you're doing this, I speak from experience. Never get it out. You throw it in the washing machine and everything else ends up with this in it. So pro tip right there for you. Trim it all the way around. Try and manipulate that hackle out of the way once you get close to it so you don't end up chopping all of that out as well. But go slow if you need to. Take your time. I kind of like how that looks right there. There you have it, a variation of the Glimmer shrimp. Like I said, tie it in a larger size for somewhere like Furry Creek where there's some color to the water. You know, size 6 being, I mean, you probably could go to a 4 if you like. I don't think you'd have to go that crazy, but 4s, and then, or sorry, a 6 like I've got here. Size 8 for clearer water. You can even go to a size 10 if you want to make a little mini version for, you know, some spooky fish. But yeah, cool fly, a little bit of wiggle to it, but lots of flash and a good color contrast that's going to grab those fish's attention. This is a pattern that I typically fish off the beach. I'll use a full floating line with like an intermediate 10-foot poly leader, or else you can use a full intermediate line as well too. Sort of foot and a half long slow strip, and just wait for those pinks to grab on. Give this one a try. I think you're going to like it a lot. Thanks for watching. If you like these videos, hit the like button, share it with your friends. If you got any comments or questions, hit us up in the comments, send us an email, and don't be afraid to check us out, www.c-run.com. Thanks again.